Hi, this is Daniel again. I serve as a spokesperson for Nehemiah Reset. In a stunning and controversial operation that has sent shockwaves through international politics, U.S. Special Forces captured Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro and his wife, Cilia Flores, in Caracas in early January 2026. The dramatic raid, which saw elite troops breach Maduro's compound, culminated a months-long pressure campaign by the Trump administration and has plunged the oil-rich nation into deep uncertainty while igniting a fierce political firestorm in Washington. The operation, dubbed Operation Absolute Resolve, was executed by the U.S. Army's Delta Force and the 160th Special Operations Aviation Regiment, lasting fewer than 30 minutes, but leaving a legacy of complex legal and diplomatic questions. Maduro was whisked to New York to face a newly unsealed U.S. Justice Department indictment, accusing him of running a corrupt, illegitimate government fueled by an extensive drug trafficking operation that flooded the United States with thousands of tons of cocaine. The indictment alleges that powerful and violent drug trafficking organizations, such as the Sinaloa Cartel and Tren de Aragua Gang, worked directly with the Venezuelan government, sending profits to high-ranking officials who protected them in exchange. It further claims that Maduro allowed cocaine-fueled corruption to flourish for his own benefit, for the benefit of members of his ruling regime, and for the benefit of his family members. During his first court appearance, a defiant Maduro declared, "I am a kidnapped president," maintaining his stance as a head of state rather than a common criminal. The legality and wisdom of the operation have been sharply criticized. Legal experts have noted that the preceding months of U.S. strikes on alleged drug trafficking boats from Venezuela likely violated both U.S. and international law. The decision to act without notifying Congress drew particular ire from lawmakers. Senator Susan Collins, a member of the Intelligence Committee, stated that Congress should have been informed about the operation earlier and needs to be involved as this situation evolves. Secretary of State Marco Rubio defended the administration's actions, arguing that because it was a law enforcement operation to apprehend a federally indicted individual, it did not require congressional approval. Public reaction in the United States has been starkly divided along partisan lines. A Washington Post poll found that 74% of Republicans approved of the operation, while 76% of Democrats disapproved. More than 6 in 10 Americans believe the operation should have required approval from Congress. Democrats, including Congressman Gregory Meeks of the House Foreign Affairs Committee, condemned the action as a reckless attempt at regime change, warning that it risks entangling the United States in an open-ended conflict in Venezuela that could destabilize the entire region. In contrast, Republicans largely cheered the capture, with the administration and its supporters celebrating the enforcement of the 2020 narco-trafficking indictment against the Venezuelan leader. Amidst the geopolitical turmoil, a separate but potentially explosive narrative began circulating in December 2025, just weeks before Maduro's capture. Social media posts and news reports claimed that Hugo Carvajal, Venezuela's former chief of national intelligence, had released a list naming U.S. politicians who had been paid by the Maduro regime. Carvajal, once a powerful figure known as El Pollo, the chicken, had been a close confidant of Maduro, but broke with the regime years before. His alleged revelations promised to add a deeply controversial layer of domestic scandal to the international crisis. According to fact-checking organization Snopes, which investigated the viral claims, Carvajal did indeed release a letter from prison. In this letter, he made explosive allegations, claiming that U.S. diplomats and CIA officers were paid to assist former Venezuelan President Hugo Chavez and Maduro in remaining in power. He further asserted that the Venezuelan government has sent spies into the U.S. for 2 decades, with some disguised as members of the Venezuelan opposition, drawing parallels to similar alleged operations conducted by Cuba. However, the crucial detail, as initially stated by Snopes, is that the purported letter from Carvajal does not name specific politicians or include a Venezuela list referenced in social media posts. Chavez regime, which came to power back in 1998 after an unsuccessful military coup a few years earlier, constituted an internationally organized crime ring hiding behind the veneer of a national government. The organizational center of this crime ring claims that Carvajal did not name any specific politician or government official. However, there is now a report circulating with a list of names of particularly Democrat senators who allegedly got kickbacks from the Maduro government. But let's not point fingers at the Democrats. There are both Republican and Democratic names on this list. The two senators from Minnesota are also on this list. Again, this has not yet been verified as of the making of this video, but the alleged list is a who's who of all the major Democrat politicians with a few Republicans. But what's so key to get here is that these allegations are just the tip of the iceberg and the corruption of the Venezuelan regime that was absolutely rife with international corruption. In fact, you could say the corruption was the connective tissue of the Venezuelan regime, and it adversely infected governments and elections globally for over 2 decades. The situation is further complicated by the timing. Carvajal's letter emerged in December 2025, while Maduro was still the president of Venezuela. The subsequent capture of Maduro by U.S. forces in January 2026 has dramatically altered the landscape, and it now has led to release of a new, supposedly more detailed information from Carvajal. The questions posed are direct. What were these Congress members allegedly being paid to do? How much were they being paid? Which members of Congress, who were supposedly receiving funds, were protesting the arrest of President Maduro? And how long had they been receiving these so-called donations? Based on the information currently available from Carvajal's letter and subsequent reporting, the definitive answer to all of these questions is that they cannot be answered. The specific names, amounts, tasks, and durations alleged to exist on such a list have not been made public in a credible, verifiable form. The allegations from Carvajal, even without names, tap into a long-standing vein of suspicion regarding foreign influence in American politics. The claim that U.S. officials were paid to help prop up the Chavez and Maduro regimes is a serious one, suggesting a level of corruption that, if proven, would constitute a major national security scandal. However, in the absence of evidence, these claims remain just that, claims. The narrative spread on social media, detached from the specifics of Carvajal's actual letter, illustrates how easily unverified information can be weaponized in a highly polarized political environment. The capture of Maduro has undoubtedly opened a new chapter in U.S.-Venezuela relations. President Trump has stated his administration will work with remaining members of the Maduro regime to clamp down on drug trafficking and overhaul its oil industry, rather than pushing for immediate elections to install a new government. Meanwhile, in Venezuela, Maduro's supporters, including militia groups known as colectivos, have taken to the streets in protest, calling for the release of their captured leader. The international community continues to grapple with the legality and precedent set by the operation. Within this complex and rapidly evolving context, the story of the alleged list of paid U.S. politicians remains a significant but unresolved sidebar. It represents a potential domestic political dimension to a foreign policy crisis, a what-if scenario that has captured the public imagination but lacks the substantiation to move from rumor to report. For now, Hugo Carvajal's broad accusations of a paid influence operation stand, but the specific details, the who, what, when, and how much that would give the story its full, explosive weight, remain absent from the public record. The true extent of any alleged complicity within the U.S. government, if it exists, has yet to be revealed. To watch more videos like this one, you can go to our website at nehemiahreset.org, to our rumble.com or youtube.com channels. We publish new videos weekly. You can also sign up to receive our weekly new video list by going to nehemiahreset.org/email and sign up for our weekly newsletter. To help our channel, please like and subscribe so that more people can see these important videos. Thanks for watching and have a great day. Are you looking for a limitless supply of insightful reads to expand your mind and transform your life? Look no further than Nehemiah Reset's ebook library, where knowledge meets inspiration at nehemiahreset.org ebook. Go there today to discover a wealth of valuable resources to help you on your personal and professional journey to build a biblical worldview. Learn more about the Bible and how culture is impacting your worldview. Again, the ebook library is located at nehemiahreset.org ebook. Hope to see you soon. My name is Daniel. I am one of the spokespersons for Nehemiah Reset. The prior video was sponsored by Nehemiah Reset, a 501c3. Our mission is to assist Christians in developing a biblical worldview as it pertains to relevant cultural and biblical issues. We seek to inform Christ's followers, equip them, and mobilize them in action to vote for their biblical values and actively engage in our We are also committed to help Christians and non-believers to develop a better biblical view. Nehemiah Reset produces videos and ebooks to assist members of the church in developing a biblical worldview when it comes to cultural issues. We produce videos on key topics like public school indoctrination, the woke agenda, sex education, equity and inclusion, climate change, immigration, religious freedom, and much, much more. To learn more about Nehemiah Reset or to watch our latest videos, go to our website at nehemiahreset.org or our rumble.com channel. We produce 2 to 3 videos every week. To get a weekly list of our latest videos, sign up for our weekly newsletter by going to nehemiahreset.org/email and subscribe. You can support our website by liking our videos, subscribing to our channels, or helping us reach more people through tax-exempt donations. Thanks for your help in growing God's kingdom and bringing more people to Christ. Thank you for your support and help. Come back again soon. Have a great day.